Who dares defy me?
They are the villains. Ordinary people on the wrong side of justice.
Oh, yes, I was groomed to be an astronaut. And then the monkey. The monkey took my rightful place!
Hello, and welcome to our very first episode of the Villains Only podcast, where we talk anything and everything villainous gaming. And just a reminder before I introduce everyone, there are absolutely no heroes allowed in this podcast. Alright, so I'm joined by a couple of goats in the organization, co-owner of Villainous Gaming, the one and only Dr. Siege, and our good friend and leader of the Glitch Gaming roster, Breach. So how's everyone doing today?
I'm doing good, Mark, man. I'm feeling great.
Doing good?
100%. It's my year.
For the book.
It's your year. Oh.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh.
you coming
Yeah.
off with that?
Interesting.
No, just I hope it's my year at least.
Yeah.
I don't know from what I've seen on gameplay. I haven't seen yours, but it might be a little rough at the start for you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying at the start. I'm not saying the whole year. Just knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Breach gets checked by the campers, bro.
Bro, let me tell you. But you gotta admit, like in this game, like we haven't had a hard point on the beta yet. Nor have we had an S&D. Nor if it's capture the flag or control, do we know if it's actually gonna be whatever game mode. It doesn't matter. We haven't had a real objective game mode besides domination.
We can play third person
that's
hardpoint. So that's
Shut up.
great. That's great.
Shut up. No, we're not playing third person.
Third person.
No, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know. I was breaking through walls for a whole freaking season, so you never know. I mean,
Third person, dude. You imagine third person? Yeah, I
Deep
can
through
see.
the wall.
Yeah, in third
that's
person, I can literally see the whole map. Yeah,
search and destroy in third person would be interesting.
Make it more like Fortnite.
Yeah, honestly.
But yeah,
I say that, and I haven't played a game of it.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Lucky
personally
you.
don't think you're gonna like it either. Be honest with you.
I don't know. Everybody's been telling me that they're thinking I'm going to like it. You said
Yeah,
that
but
too.
it's. I said that at first, but it's not like I don't know. Thinking about your gameplay, you use movement and a lot of that, and that's how I am as well. But you can't move in this game. It's not a.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't
that's
move at
the
all.
that's the thing. I use movement because I have to. That's otherwise I don't really need to.
Yeah.
Like I can easily outposition players.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be different. You're going to see the difference because mainly you do use movement. I mean, yeah, you have to, but I mean, that's mainly your strong suit. I mean, I think you can play positioning, but you're going to feel the difference just like I'm feeling the difference.
Probably not to the same extent.
Yeah. I mean, the time
Yeah.
to kill though is just like with no movement, you're kind of like a sitting duck most of the time. It's kind of aggravating. I mean,
Yeah, and it's,
unless you're bunny hopping like a madman, you're pretty much
even
just
when you're
checked.
bunny hopping, it's
Yeah.
like
Dolphin
in a
diving.
wide open, if you get caught wide open, like
Yeah,
you're screwed. There's
you get
just
too
not.
tapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these ARs overpowered. I haven't even unlocked an SMG yet, so I can't really speak on that. But
Yeah.
Well, from what I saw, there's like a 3-bullet kill.
yeah, it all seems
It's
pretty
like
quick.
immediate.
Yeah, it's not looking very good for the slower. I mean, it's slower, but like slower time to kill is not going to be a thing. Not
No,
this year, at least. Probably not ever. Cold War was the last time, so that sucks.
Well, that was my. I'd say that was my prime.
Cold War Prime. Yeah, I agree with that. I
Not
agree.
saying I'm not saying I was shit at Vanguard, but I was just on another level in Cold War.
Yeah, Cold War. I'd say you were pretty god tier on that game.
Yeah.
I just feel like Vanguard. I don't know. As a organization, we never were in positions to be successful in in that game. So individually,
Well,
everyone struggled a bit.
Well, there was a lot of inconsistencies with the rosters, mindsets, and certain other things in the background. But and really, once you think about it, we weren't having a team that could really compete till the end of the year.
Yeah.
And that was almost a last minute team.
As a team, I just think no one was ever on the same page. Everybody had a way of playing the game, and none of it meshed. No one meshed together. Everybody wanted to play it differently.
I mean,
everybody
we would have like times when duos, like we'd have, like if it was me and Siege, or like we kind of meshed with Zoe a little bit, but like we never got all four that were on the same page, and that you kind of need that when you're playing some of these super talented people, because we all know like a lot of the teams in our league are gonna be a little more talented, so we need the teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
especially last year.
Not only that, I mean, even these teams, some of these teams got the up-to-date PC parts, so it's like when you're having to compete on a certain level and compete against teams with better systems, and we're not meshing, and we're just not doing the right crop. It's like everything. Everything's against you. You're just not going to win like that.
You just don't give yourself a chance in that sense.
I will say this, and this isn't necessarily me coming at anybody. I'm not going to say names, but it was a lot of bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
Throughout the year.
Not to say names.
And that really did not help with the team mindset. We didn't really do VOD reviews.
No. Yeah.
We didn't really have a proper IPL.
It's funny because I know we're all thinking the same person, but we're not going to say names.
We're not going to say names, but you know who you are, and be angry about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, last year was something. That's for
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think we've lost plenty of times, but it's like even I got to this point where I was starting to, complain and stuff like that, and it just comes with constantly losing,
Yeah.
And I think everybody had a time.
But there's that. There's also the fact that once you have that in, it's so hard to get out. Like that's one of those things that you might need to change two people.
Yeah.
And it just messes with the whole dynamic of the team.
Right.
Yep.
We never really did that, and I mean, we were just never really in a position to do it either. So it didn't really. We never were like, oh, these two work better together, and we did try that, but then, that led to more issues. Throughout the season when we tried
especially after I came back to compete.
Well, it would have worked better if, Reflectory didn't retire out of nowhere. Well, I mean, not out of nowhere, but, that was bad timing for us. So.
Even if it was like, no one was being successful. And when one person was doing great, the other three were doing bad.
Right.
One person was doing amazing.
Yeah, and that's just because we had no teamwork,
Yeah, it's like it looks good from one end, but it was like every map, like we always had that one person do like phenomenal, and
right, and it wasn't like that person was carrying. It was just like, somebody's gonna be doing pretty good, but like if we're not working as a team, like I'd rather everyone have equal stats than somebody being a world scoring kid.
But that's the thing, like about the way that I play. Just if I feel like I have to take it into my own hands, I will. And you've seen that, like what that's done in matches before,
right?
Whether it be S&D or Control, sometimes Hardpoint.
Yeah.
This year.
But I mean, you just don't have the help, and like we were never in a position for that.
Yeah, and even like even after I came back, it was a lot of. I think everyone was just
Yeah, we were pretty
everyone
done
else
when
was
you
just
came
really
back.
out of it.
Even Zoe is done, and that's bad because Zoe is like probably the most. He enjoys the game to an insane level, and he was just like, yeah, I'm not scrimming anymore. I was like, okay,
Well-
I couldn't blame him because
I tried to warn. I honestly tried to warn him
yeah,
before he made the switch.
yeah,
I'm like, with me because he really wanted, and it was a lot of bad timing too. He
yeah,
really wanted to team with me
yeah,
initially,
yeah.
but
He
with my
wanted to bring. Hmm.
he wanted, but he wanted me back as an IGL,
Right.
back you at Flex, and we figure out whoever else on SMG.
Yeah. At the time, it probably would have been Breach. I mean, not that you guys worked together well, but as far as
Yeah.
talent-wise, you two were
Him and
probably
I-
the best. So
him and I. Well, as far as the SMG duos that we had on
Yeah.
rosters, yeah, him and I probably worked the best.
yeah,
But as far as, but him and I play certain things too similarly,
hmm yeah,
but we're also on two different pages.
yeah. You
Like, we
play,
didn't-
you play
we played the
similarly,
complete
but
opposite.
also yeah, it's kind of weird that you guys play so like similar, but also exactly opposite. It makes no
Well,
sense. It's
yeah,
like a paradox.
A good example would be like S&D. Like sometimes we'd go to the same spot. Like not compute. We'd say we're going this, and then we go to like let's say back up P5 on Tuscan,
Yeah.
and we play the exact same angle. We get the exact same
Yeah.
spot, and it's because certain spots and certain angles we both like to play, and we know that.
Yeah, you guys
And
are both
it's-
main subs, and it didn't make sense for you guys to be a duo because like you need to be on separate teams because you play the same role. And while like your
Mhm.
game philosophy is different, it's still the same role, so
Mhm.
that doesn't
Our
change.
philosophies are very different.
Yeah, I remember our control debate was quite interesting. That was fun, but just a lot of yelling. And, yeah,
Listen, I mean, I think everyone plays the game a little differently from the other,
right.
Oh no,
but whether it's gun skill, whether it's movement, whatever positioning, whatever you want to talk about, there's always going to be a little different debate. But I think the key is none of our play styles do
mesh.
like mesh.
Does not mesh.
Yeah, and
It was
it's
a lot
just how
of
it
front
is.
line. It truly was our front line for a decent portion of it, but granted, like we had pretty consistent ARs for the most part. Though we didn't.
I mean,
like the
Yeah,
only thing I can get onto y'all about mainly would be like map, like overall map positioning.
I think that when I decided to go to main AR just so we could have a full 4 team, like I never played main AR. I don't like playing main AR, so that was just like I would put up good numbers, but I wasn't doing what I needed to do on the map, so it didn't help. If that makes sense.
Right, and
I didn't have impact
And-
kills.
and then you had being, and then you had Reflect getting some of the more impact kills as an AR, and then
Right.
you got me and Breach kind of honestly single-handedly at times, and it's kind of interchangeable at some certain points as far as just like completely gunning on hardpoint.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the issue, though. Is all like you watch these good pro SMG duos never by themselves usually. Like you guys
Mhm.
just didn't work together well.
A lot of times we played off of each other.
Hmm.
We actually did,
Mhm.
but it just whether it be the comms, whether it be the duo awareness, VOD review or whatever, we just were not clicking. And
Well-
out of the two of us, I'd probably be the more, Slayer. He'd be the entry.
Mhm.
But I feel like as an SMG, I am more natural at entry,
Mhm.
and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And Breach
I don't
is
know.
definitely-
I kind of disagree with you there. I think especially this year. I mean, I think naturally you're probably more the Slayer and I'm more the entry. But I mean, this year I think you played a lot of point. I mean, we just for playing freaking when we played League Play the other day together.
Right.
Like I wasn't like obviously you seen I
Yeah.
I
You
had
don't
like
go-
23 seconds on one of them.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I think this year was kind of opposite, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like we just didn't mesh when we tried to be the opposite. You know?
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
it's just
what
Vanguard.
happened there? So you and I discussed earlier in the year before we teamed up that. Now I remember this conversation so vividly because I would always think about it, and like during those days. But
Mhm.
like we had the conversation of like, okay, you probably be more on the hill. I play a little off of it, and then I just see you playing off of it. So I'm like, okay, I hop hill at that point,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's just
I do remember that, and then I remember like just I'm the type of guy and this is bad me as a player, by the way. I just want to say this. If I see a spot that's not being filled, like if someone's not where they need to be, I'll end up filling it for them.
that's
and-
what I do too.
And sometimes that causes the problem. Like sometimes when we were rotating or something, say Siege, you would be rotating, but you'd die. Well, then I feel like I gotta get your spot when I probably should just do my own thing, and I shouldn't be doing that as a player.
Yeah.
But
That's like the flex
Well,
role
it-
more.
Some of it's circumstantial, and some of it's like nuance type stuff.
mhm.
Like as far as when it comes to filling in spots,
Mhm.
it really comes down to some of it's like team philosophy, but like as far as so decent bit of it's intuition, but it's really like situational.
Yeah.
Like what has to be prioritized in that moment, and sometimes on rotation, especially just to stay alive in a corner,
Agreed.
and that just sometimes did not happen.
Yeah. I was just thinking about this, and this came to my head when we were talking about filling positions. I can't tell how many times I would be like, back, P4 or P3 for Berlin, and I'd be like holding
Yes.
the back rails like right there with
Yes.
my MP40, just praying no AR came around the corner, like because
Or shot you from street or top fire.
yeah, exactly, and
I
that
know.
was just like an automatic that just came to my head.
Yeah, and I just think last year we just didn't do enough before games to be successful in games. We never
No, we
broke
didn't.
down setups for hardpoint or S&D strats, which as little as we cared about them last year, it's like those are very important.
Well, we
Yeah.
also didn't really do like full-on VOD reviews.
Yeah, and
I
we
did not
It was
not
just,
put in that kind of work.
yeah, it was just the craziness of the year. Like I was kind of up in the air whether we were forming, the new brand, the new org, all that stuff,
Mhm.
based off of where we were at after the Cold War season. So then
Yeah, there was
just
a lot of
weren't-
stuff with that.
we just weren't really ready, like to set up a base and a framework. We got there eventually, and then by the time we could have set it up, we just didn't. It was just
No.
too late for it to matter.
It-
Like you said, with your injury, you were out, and then we were
For
kind
a
of scrambling for the whole rest of the year after that. So
Yeah, and once I let Breach will say this, and he's told me this multiple times that it became a struggle.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I think the problem was, like, honestly, it was all already a struggle. Like, we were already
it was
struggling.
already
Like,
a struggle.
I mean, we, I mean, I remember vividly getting crushed in some matches. So
Yeah.
it was like, well, once that happened, it was like kind of more of a downside, and it was like, all right, now we got to find someone else.
Yeah, and
Well,
it was,
then we
was-
tried that, and it
Mhm.
just it was like a falling down a hill.
we
We're already
we were at a
falling.
point where, like, I know personally, I didn't agree with how Reflectory played. Like 80% of the time, you was more 50-50 Breach because it was,
Mhm.
some things we didn't agree on, but like we were still okay.
Mhm.
And then it's just like we never talked about it enough where we could be like, all right, let's change this then. Like, I'll change this how I play, you change this how you play, and that would work out better. We kind of just tried to just ignore it or just move past it, and that just wasn't a solution.
Well, there's that, but there's also like when we I have brought it up, certain things up,
Yeah,
and I get bitched at, and I'm like, you know what,
right. Yeah,
y'all have it,
there was just many times where it's like nobody wanted to work together to make a plan. We just were doing individual things with 4 people. We might as well have been randoms when we went to our league matches because
we just happen to communicate 80% of the time.
Yeah, that's good enough for ranked play wins. But when you go into the people we're playing, it's like you have to be an actual team, and that we just weren't. I think all last year we were more talented than in Cold War, but we just weren't in Cold War we were more of a team.
Well, yeah, Cold War we were more team based, but that's because it got drilled into y'all. It truly did.
Me and Zoe, as you would say, were rookies. Siege was like Obi-Wan Kenobi. We had Night Shot. He was just, reliable. He did his job in that game, so.
Yeah, I was a mixture between Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Yeah, and I was the little Anakin guy. Pretty out of there. That might have been Zoe, though. We might have shared that role. But we did figure it out. Towards the end, it was just, cold. We started late summer, so we were done by the time we figured it out, the season was over and we were in the Vanguard. And right after, almost right before Vanguard started, we kind of split as a team, as an org. And that was, a lot of stuff out of the game because, like I said, we got along in game.
We got along perfectly.
We switched from Toxic Gaming branding to the new Villainous branding, which I like better anyway.
Yes.
As much as people say I think the possibilities with this branding are better, and I've liked to explore them so far where we can go in the future, so that's good. But when we came back as a competitive team, I was out because of school, other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Breach wasn't. Yeah, I didn't even know Breach yet, so he wasn't an option. So it was just Siege, and pretty much we had to recruit people. And none of that ever worked out. So
that very first team, I gave it like 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm like, I got to the point where I was like,
yeah, that was.
I need help.
Yeah, we did a bad job there.
I dropped nearly 70 consistently, and we were losing.
Yeah. So we kind of moved on from that, and we picked up Breach. I came back, and then us 3, we just didn't have a fourth. I don't know how many months, probably 3 weeks we played without a fourth. We were just playing ranked play, getting frustrated. So we struggled at the start. So that's why I'm kind of looking forward to this season, because I'd say this is the most organized we've been heading into a new COD as an organization. So that's looking pretty good for us. The season
Oh,
starts next week,
Dude,
next Saturday. It's just a fun throwback kickoff, but it's supposed to be for teamwork building, getting a sense of competition a little bit before we get into the actual season. So, Breach, you kind of just formed your team a little bit. I know you're not 100% sure, but you wanna do you guys looking good? How you feeling about going into this season?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually feeling great. I'm kind of excited as I've been in a long time. I mean, we haven't got much of gameplay wise on the beta. The beta is kind of it's a learning curve from last season. So, I mean, I feel like just learning the game mechanics. But as far as team wise, I think we're looking good. I'm pretty 100% now. I'm almost 100% at least that the team I have right now is going to work out. And I don't know, man. They're looking good. I'm not gonna lie.
That's good because the glitch roster, right after you left the main roster, because we decided to split the teams. It was not. I don't think it was bad, but you guys just didn't practice, right? From what I remember. I mean, you're team captain, so I wouldn't know as much as you, but
Yeah, it was a mixture of just outside things, trying to get together and trying to practice. And honestly, when you don't practice a lot, you have to remain off of talent. And I mean, they were talented. They were really talented. So it hurts to see that go to waste, and just go down the drain.
Yeah.
So
the talent didn't want to do the work, right?
Yeah, the talent. Well, that, and it's just when you don't practice together, we might as well be a bunch of randoms.
Right.
And these teams, they practice every day, man. I mean, I know one team, they practice 6 days a week, and that's intense. So I don't know. It was hard, but this year it's looking good.
Much better.
Looking much better.
So basically, the way the NCE League kickoff works, it's not for points, it's not for money, but it's for seeding for the Search and Destroy showdowns coming in November, which are for points. So you're in a bracket, or your group is Group 1. You're playing New York War, South Carolina Vicious, and the Four Horsemen St. Louis. St. Louis team used to be Intoxicated Gaming from last season. And obviously, New York Wars coming in. That's Nightshot's team, former player for us. And then I don't know South Carolina Vicious. All I know is that they're apparently pretty talented. But overall, you think you guys are going to be good to go, or are you kind of worried?
I wouldn't say I'm worried. I mean, again, we haven't played the new game fully. I mean, the only thing we've got are Search and Destroys off of potential maps that are not going to be played in league play and stuff like that either. So,
right.
I mean, I'm personally not worried. I think the team's looking really good. So I'm really excited.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's good. And obviously, me and Siege are, at least I know Siege is starting on Las Vegas Villains. We're back. We picked up Pat, I'll call him because I actually don't know how to say his full name or gamer tag. He goes by Pat anyway. He's going to be our main AR, and we picked up Tribe as our flex. I don't know how we haven't practiced as much as we should have. I mean, we're going to the kickoff next week. Siege, how are you feeling? I'm kind of nervous personally. I'm sure you're a little nervous just because we haven't practiced as much as we should have. But so we're in Group 2. We won't play you guys till bracket if we make it. But we're playing Indie Esports, who are now Knoxville 4 Days, Infinite Esports, and the Halifax Gods. We're in a pretty tough bracket. Infinite, I believe, got 3rd last year in champs, and the Gods are really good. 4 Days, they completely retold their roster, so we really have no clue what they're up to. Alright, CG, you back?
All right, y'all hear me?
Yes, much better. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I put
What
it
were
on
you saying?
Bluetooth earbuds. I was saying that has some conservations.
Hmm.
Um, as far as the unite with you and I, we need to work on a couple coordination stuff.
Yeah.
Um, of course, we haven't ran SMGs together much.
Yeah. But I mean,
With
this
a
is our
true,
third year going and playing together, so we just kind of got to get specific down, But as far as like teamwork goes, we should be fine. I'm more worried of how we play off of our teammates, but
I know.
that's just going to come with, like I said, this kickoff is hopefully a good chance for us to gauge all that, because it's not for anything huge. Worst case, we get seeded bad for the search and destroy tournaments, but this is a good chance for us to have actual matches and then reasons for us to start putting work in and then build from there. So hopefully it works out. I don't know. I hope we're better than last year. It so far, like, vibe wise, how do you think it seems? Because I'm a little more happy with it, because we've played with Tribe and Pat, and when we play, we're pretty decent, like, gameplay wise, but we just haven't done anything competitive yet.
Four of us together.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Tribe plays off of Pat.
Yeah, that's true.
I know there's a lot of things that Tribe needs to work on as a flex. And by the way, I say that because he's moving from SMG to flex.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
And I've told you what I'm willing to do if we needed to.
Yes.
And I've only played a couple games with Pat. Granted, we did decent with Pat.
Yeah, I mean, I thought gameplay-wise we did decent. We didn't really communicate as well, but I mean, we were kind of just playing for fun. It wasn't like an intense game. So
yeah, and so it's kind of hard for me to be like, yeah, this or yeah, that.
Yeah.
As far as the vibe goes, but I definitely do have some concerns.
Yeah.
And hopefully, most of those will be answered soon.
I mean, we got a little more than a month till the kickoff is over, and we start for points, where seeding for champs is up the line. So we have time, but at the same time, we kind of want to, start getting on track soon.
Okay.
But I mean, yeah, that's kind of all we got for this episode. You guys think anything you want to add that I might have forgot, you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good, man. I think we hit on the big points today.
Yeah.
Really just for the upcoming season, what teams are looking like. But I think the season's looking good for both teams, really.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're definitely at our best place starting this year, so we just have to make sure both teams put in the work to keep it going throughout. And I mean, we'll be making content along the way, keeping everyone informed on how we're doing. And I mean, yeah, you can always follow both teams on Twitter. Villains Gaming for our team, the Las Vegas Villains, and Glitch LA. It's backwards because the other LA Glitch was taken apparently for Breach's team. But alright. Thank you guys for watching episode 1 of the Villains Only podcast. Once again, we're going to be dropping a podcast at least once a week. That's our goal. This is our first episode. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you learned a little about the org, also our league that we're in. Any questions, you can DM us on our Twitter accounts. And if you're interested in us, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube. We all have our own separate pages that we work on and post content. We'll be posting content on our YouTube at Villainous Gaming on YouTube. So thank you for watching and have a good day.